All right, hello and welcome to VOP This Morning. That is Voice of the People TV. I'm Moses Humphrey. Now let's begin by saying, thank God it's Monday. And for those who don't find that awkward, well, the more things change, the more they remain the same. Indeed. Well, the Nigerian police has admitted that its men actually ran a vehicle over a handcuffed man. But it's one thing to acknowledge wrong, and yet an entirely different thing to forsake wrong. Well, that is on our radar today. Plus, the cost of doing business in Nigeria is on the rise, and it is feared investors could soon take a walk. Now, that's what we shall be heading into on the show. These two focal points are what we'll be looking at on the show today. In the meantime, let's get into what the front pages are saying, all right? And to help me, to join me in making sense of stories on the cover pages of some newspapers, I have with me VOP analyst Abiodun Ojedeji. Good morning to you.
Good morning this morning.
Good morning this morning. All right, so let's get on to the dailies. We have the Punch newspaper first off. We're starting with the Punch newspaper. Now, the cover page of the Punch has the banner headline, Government's Battle Cash Crunch. Delta, Imo, Cross River, Oyo lead as states borrow 130 billion naira in 3 months. 17 shortfall hits states. Internally generated revenue. Debts rise to 5.5 trillion naira. And we also have opposition attacks. FG as presidency lambasts EU poll observers. NLC to meet Tinubu on 65-year retirement age. NNPCL marketers fuel vessels arrive next week. Ipman. And we also have right underneath this pictorial, UTME top performer manipulated score faces prosecution. That's according to Jam. I think she was said to have scored about 300 and something.
62? Okay, it's 362.
362. Manipulated.
From 240.
How did she manipulate it on the system?
Well, that is the question we should be asking UTME. How did somebody from backyard tap into your system and able to upgrade
her own score?
Yes.
But 2 something is even good enough. If she scored 2, that's good enough to get her an admission
to any university of her choice in this country.
No, something must be wrong somewhere. If an individual or a body can access the portal and manipulate their score, that's a problem.
It's a big problem, and it's not putting Nigeria in a good map.
Indeed. Yeah. And this is even coming at a time when we are still struggling with the 140 benchmark to get admission into institutions. We are still struggling. Why are we looking at 140 at this time? Are we going to be churning out half-baked? In the world of education world and in education sector throughout the world, anywhere you find Nigerians, they always give kudos to Nigerians, because the way our people out there, the way they excel academically is something you can be boast of. You can beat your chest anywhere that this is Nigerians. When it comes to this, they can do better. But now let's come back home and look at the way our young lads that we are looking at, that will be representing this country in the nearest future. They are doing this. Believe me, this will change the mindset of the entire world towards Nigerian education. Okay, we do hope that these things will be looked into.
I know this is not the first one, and it's not going to be the last one.
The manipulator.
Yes, because the only thing that make jump to come out is because of the claim and some scholarship amount of money. Some people are now coming out to help to celebrate the girl. That's why you tell me, sit back, that what is going on?
And they have to investigate.
They have to investigate. But
so that means, well, from what you just said, that means it's possible that a lot more people have manipulated their scores to get into universities.
Of course. That is why we are having some graduates that they can't even pronounce their name well. Yes. Go to bank, you see many of them, they can't even fill form.
Come on, Ojediji.
No. That is the experience you're having. Going to the bank, you will see some young girls, young guys. They can't fill a form accurately. They were asking questions. Sir, please, what can I write here? You look at them. Come on.
But anyway, let's not delve into that.
Say discussion for another day.
Yes. Another headline here: Khan mourns as kidnappers kill RCCG pastor, 7 churchgoers rescued. And then we have Zenith Bank leads Nigerian lenders in new global ranking. All right, so these are the headlines. Let me take us back to the banner headline: Governors battle cash crunch. Delta, Imo, Cross River, Oyo lead as states borrow 130 billion naira.
What
in
did
3
they
months.
use the money for? That is the first question we need to ask them. Now they need to come out to be telling us about their borrowed after election. So this is the outcome of the election.
So you are thinking that they borrowed to finance elections?
What do you see? This is clear. Now the states, now they are finding it difficult to do the needful. That is why they need to come out. It's just like, sir, ma, we don't have money because you may be expecting us to do this and we're unable to meet up.
Pay salaries.
So salary will be, so please forget your salary. Infrastructure development, please don't let's talk about that. Any engineer, contractor that we are owing, all of you should just go and sit down. They are just saying this for those that they use the money to finance to know that they need to pay back or they need to favor them in one way or the other. It's very simple. Or your state, for instance, now they were among the top borrower. The question is this: let's go back to your state and go and ask Governor Seyi Makinde. For the past 4 months, they should just come out. This is the infrastructure we have already, we are working on. The last time I heard from him,
4 months. Okay.
Yes, the last time I heard from Mr. Governor, what he said, I quote, is okay, now we are ready to work with federal government on our infrastructural development.
And when was this? That was sometime last year.
No.
Okay. When was this?
This morning. Just go and check the dailies.
Okay.
That's the last thing I heard from him. For him to come out now want to partner with federal government. Why? When you wanted to give out your budget for the House to approve, did you talk about partnering with federal government? But now it is the right time for him to come out for partnership. What happens to the money, the loan he takes?
The loan he took earlier?
Yes. What happens to the loan? What did he use it for? Other governors, I will appeal, let them come out and tell us what they used the money they borrowed for. So that we will know where we are going to. Because Nigeria, we are trying to drag ourselves out of mud. Nobody should drag us back to the mud. We want to move forward. Any money, any kobo spent by any government, state government, federal government, local government, even ordinary councillor, they need to start accounting for the money now, not later. While they were still there, let them account for it. Because any moment they step out,
it becomes difficult to
yes. Now it is when some people will be giving us excuses. We can't do this because they are owing so. We have so. When I give it to President Administration, they have not give us any excuse that we can't do this because of the debt
from the previous administration.
Yes. And I'm expecting the state governors too. Although about 3 or 4 of them have started coming out that, hello, it is 4 million we made in the account. We are running the state on debt. So all the governors, what you borrow money for, I don't know, but the money you borrowed, what did you use it for? Come out, tell Nigerians, let your state know, so that if anybody wanted to help financially, they know where to come in. Yes, because we still have individual that can finance a state.
All right, now let's look at, let me get your thoughts on this headline. Opposition attack FG as presidency lambasts EU poll observers. You saw that report by Dele Alake, special advisor, special duties, and and
What
the
do, you,
rest.
what do you expect Dele Alake to say?
My concern here is, first of all, you were a player. I mean, the government in power now was a player in the elections.
Of course.
And the observers have given their reports. Why exactly must you come out in opposition? Why don't you just let the observers, give their reports? Let the courts continue the process, and let just continue doing. Just
Continue govern.
Yes.
Leave the rest.
Continue with the way you're ruling, and you don't need to speak on that. So
The only thing there is, I think, Mr. Dele Alake, I think the work he's doing now is not that much for him, so he still have time. That is the truth. He still have time to meddle in the.
think that's the case, or
No.
Or do you think this is?
He's just trying to defend the office that is feeding him, which is, to me, at this point in time, that is not really necessary. It's not really necessary. The only thing there is, if anybody need to answer any question, if court of law needed is Mr. President himself to defend his candidacy, no problem. That is when he can speak for Mr. President. Now, whatever EU says, they didn't direct the word to Mr. President. I mean, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They were not talking about him. They were talking about the election. The reason Alake is coming out to defend somebody that nobody accused, we need to call him and ask him what gave him the audacity to say this.
Why exactly does he feel that?
So what is he driving at?
To defend?
Is he trying to make Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to look good? Or is just trying to defend Nigeria as a nation? Or is he speaking for APC? When did he become APC spokesperson? Or is he speaking for INEC? When did he become INEC spokesperson? So, or is he speaking on behalf of Nigerians? No, the question is very clear.
When did he become the spokesperson of Nigerians?
So he just need to let the court of law do the needful. Let the observers give out their reports. It has nothing to do with you. It stops you. It didn't stop you from doing
doing anything, really.
I don't know why he has to. Well, as I said earlier, I think he's not really that busy. So it means the job he is paying to do, the job is not too much for him. Maybe they should give him more job to do so that he will not be saying, be middle in the affairs that has nothing.
All right, Abiona, let's get on to another daily now. We still have a few more to touch on if time permits us. The Nation newspaper has these headlines. Investors, 4.35 trillion naira gain in 1 month boosts economy. Tinubu will rally Nigeria to world's top 3. Stock market hits 15-year high. And we also have actor Olu Jacob is not here. 80% of the time, says wife Joke Silva. Okay, actor Olu Jacob is not here 80% of the time, says wife Joke Silva. I think the actor's health is breaking down. Well, death toll of Nigerian pilgrims rises to 13. Unfortunate indeed. Banks collected 8.9 trillion naira deposits in 12 months. Zenith Bank on top with $2.54 billion tier 1 capital. FCDA to demolish police station. Others on waterways. All right. So these are the headlines in the Nation, and we also have, yes, presidency rejects EU's 2023 poll report, and 2 dead in U.S. mass shooting. Chinese naval ships in Nigeria. Rioters raid home of French mayor. All right. Now, these are the headlines that we have in the Nation newspaper. Is there any you would like to
Investors smile home with 4-point-something trillion naira within a month.
Investors 4.35 trillion naira gain in 1 month. Boosts economy.
How? Investors, they smile home. Nigerians, did they smile home?
How do you mean?
When investors
if investors are making money, then
they are making money.
The Nigerians will make more money too. That's how it works.
No. For the past a month, Nigerians, we are crying. Things are not easy for Nigerians, and some people are smiling home based on the sweat and agony of Nigerians. Now, see, this thing is simple.
The paper doesn't say which investors in which area.
Let me tell you, no matter what, look at every sector in Nigeria today. Which one is bringing peace of mind to Nigerians? But which one is making Nigerians survive? Which one Nigeria based on to survive today? No, they were still working on every aspect, every corners. Everybody were now making money based on one way or the other. Based on any angle they see it, just to exhaust Nigerians. Let me tell you, the moment subsidy got removed, many people are using the avenue to increase, to exhaust Nigerians. If not for NERC.
Are these people investors of, the common man? Because what we see is when you go to the market to buy things, the prices are high, and it has nothing to do with the dollar, really. People just increase prices because they feel, okay, they are spending more buying fuel, not importing. All right, they already have the goods on ground, but because they feel, okay, my expenditure in the home front is more, let me increase the amount I sell. That's from the common man, the day-to-day.
Moses, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. I know you will not agree with me, but the truth remains, all these investors, what they were selling to Nigerians for a kobo, they increase it because of fuel subsidy removal. Because many of them, what they keep telling Nigerians is the fuel we are buying.
Okay, you're limiting it to fuel now.
No, I'm not limiting it to fuel, but I'm coming back to it. No matter what, as an investor, no matter where you invest, you need the electricity to power your job.
True that.
And then in Nigeria now, the income we are getting, the satisfactory service we are getting from electricity is 5/100. Now let's go back to those that they were using fuel to maintain and to keep the standard rolling. Now the fuel has been increased. The price per liter has increased by over 100%. So those investors, are they not going to increase what they were selling, the price they are selling their products? Are they not going to smile home? Because I believe they will not increase by 10, by 50. They will increase by 200, by 300%. That is where Nigerians are crying. That is where Nigerians are finding it difficult to live. That is why we see many people go into crime. In fact, these days, the way people, you see corporate beggars before, now it has now become corporate beggars. Corporate beggars. Because you see what 100,000 I can put on your table last 2 months.
It cannot do that.
400,000 naira, 500,000 naira, we hardly put it on your table this month. So investors, they are increasing everything to their own satisfactory to make more money. Right. And Nigerians, we don't have any other alternative, no option than to buy in to whatever they are selling to us. It's either we borrow the money, it's either we take loan, it's either we steal the money, it's either we sweat our bloods to get the money. They don't care. All they want to do is to make money as a business entity. Now they are making the money, smiling home with trillions of naira as their home profit, while Nigerians were crying home on daily basis to their family. That, right. Madam, please manage this 15 naira. And that 15 naira cannot even feed a child. Talk of a family of 4, 5, 6, and God bless us in this Africa. We have people with children and wives.
Yeah.
God help us.
Let's touch on another paper now before we wrap up this part of the show. The Vanguard newspaper has these headlines: March to Nigeria's economic recovery revealed, Tinubu's move against terrorism. And then it has sub-riders: comprehensive onslaught against terrorists and bandits begin. Security architecture set for review. Rules of engagement to be determined by the nature of the security threat. More shake-up imminent in the security services. President vows to stop crude oil theft. Economic policies to reflect contemporary realities. Scores of captives released as farmers return to their farms in Northwest. Consultations in the political, economic, and security spheres continue. All right. Now, underneath that one, we have another bold headline here: fuel subsidy removal, forex reforms, investors rake in 5.3 trillion naira in H1 2023. All right. highest gain in 15 years. Gains attributed to policy changes, corporate earnings, but analysts warn of debt policy shocks. All right. And we also have ministerial nominees: Osumbo, Ambassador Musa Mohammed may make list. 10th Senate opposition to Tambawal's minority leadership bid swells. And then we also have JAM raises alarm over candidates parading fake scores. Fuel subsidy made e-vehicles unattractive in Nigeria. In Nigeria, according to World Bank. Anxiety as FG resumes work on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway today. 9 illegal refineries with 1 million BPD production capacity uncovered in Bayelsa. Zenith Bank retains position as foremost Tier 1 bank in Nigeria. Presidency rejects EU's report on 2023 general election. EU's report reliable, says Atiku. All right, so which one
I
are we?
think Mr. President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he should try and release his ministerial list so that now we will know who to call.
Well, he has to, because there's a law now that says in 60 days. So he has used 30
plus, yes.
30 plus.
35 now.
Going to 35. So in the next less than 20 or 25 days, we should see them. We should see the list.
Because if he still delay the ministerial list, it will be difficult for Nigerians to complain, because we can't be channel all our complaints to Mr. President, because he's not the one who oversees all the ministries at a go. Need somebody that will be responsible for some things. So we just want Mr. President, we are appealing to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, please release your ministerial list. Let's see who is there. Let's know their capability. Mention their names. Once they resume office, to ask them questions, to call on them when it's needed. It will not be difficult for Nigerians. We will know who to point a finger at. We will know who to direct our questions to. We will know who we really need to talk to. Because what is happening? Power sector, we can't be calling Mr. President always. Electricity, we can't be calling him. Gas, we can't be calling him. All like every banking, finance. See, this thing is it will be too cumbersome for him as a person. The only thing he needs to do, let Nigerians have a say. Without him releasing the ministerial list, Nigerians will don't have a say. We just be following the order. And mind you, this is not military era. It's democracy. And the only way democracy can work is to liaise, to talk, to have a say, for your voice to be heard.
Well, in fairness, if you want to compare this administration to the last one, you would say this administration really has been more active in its first 30, 35,
Mr.
30,
President,
30 something days in office.
Mr. President
against the
and
previous
his vice, they were active. Let's wait for the ministers first before we be talking about activeness. Let's wait for the ministers first. When we see the ministerial list, when they started working, when they resume offices and then everything, that is when we can talk about activeness. Mr. President as a person, Mr. Vice President, they can be active. But what about the people that will work with them?
All right then. All right. So I think this is where we'll wrap the newspaper review segment up. I must say a very big thank you to you, Abiodun Ojediji, VOP analyst. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So stay with us on VOP TV. That's Voice of the People. You know, because we need to emphasize that it is Voice of the People on YouTube. So when you get on YouTube, look for Voice of the People, not just VOP, Voice of the People. All right. Now, do subscribe, follow us. All right. Up next on VOP this morning is question is the police still your friend? That's a question. That's the question that we're looking at this morning. Well, let's talk about that when we return. Stay with us.